My name's Adam Hills. Welcome to Spicks And Specks, the music quiz show in which Snoop Dogg stops the cat empire from eating the birds of Tokyo. Our two team captains each and every week are the dizzy rascal, Alan Bro, and the cut chemist, Miff Warhurst. Alan's first guest tonight is one of Australia's finest jazz musicians who is also a keen permaculture gardener. He keeps his own chooks, blows his own trumpet and tries not to get the two confused. Please welcome Vince Jones. Alan's second team member is best known as the guitarist from ARIA award-winning comedy group Tripod. He's also the frontman for another musical group called The Universe, which he claims to have created from nothing in only 6 days. Please welcome Scott Edgar. Miff's first guest is a dancer, singer, choreographer and So You Think You Can Dance judge who's famous for his hat. If Molly Meldrum could sing, dance and speak, he'd be Matt Lee. Miff's final guest is a versatile and lovely comedy performer who's equally at home on stage, on television, on radio, on the internet, on the couch, on holiday or on the Terps. Or all of the above. Please welcome Michelle Laurie. Now, before we start the show, I want to talk about something that is interesting, especially in regards our two musical performers tonight. The first CDs or albums that you both bought give an insight into what kind of performer you became. Because Vince, at the age of 17, the first album you bought was...
Bitches Brew.
Bitches Brew by Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you bought it?
I saved up really hard. It was a double album. But I bought it in David Jones, I think.
Clearly, you were into jazz at a young age.
Trumpet, I was into trumpet.
Right, yeah. Right.
And Miles was the grooviest trumpet player.
Right. Matt.
Yes.
Your first album?
Was Michael Jackson's Bad.
And first concert?
First concert was his sister, Janet Jackson.
You were always going to work in dance, weren't you?
Yeah, look. You know, I saved up my pennies also. I didn't get it from David Jones. Mine was Kmart. And it was a cassette album. So, yeah, I was 7.
Do you know there are people watching the show right now, young kids, who have absolutely no idea what a cassette album is?
You know, I still have my cassette singles at home in a little box under the house, kind of thing.
Oh, one of those travel boxes that had the, you know, you'd open it up and you'd have all your little cassettes.
No, I wasn't that organised.
I've got one of those.
Yeah, that was awesome for the car.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, I used to have a Billy Joel album that I played so often. I was quite convinced that one of the songs was just really postmodern and had a slow down section in it. Really, that's how I thought the song went.
I know.
Bottle of red, bottle of water. Singing along.
In my neighbourhood the other day, I saw tape from a cassette strewn across a median strip. Do you remember you used to see that?
And you never see it anymore.
There are kids in my neighbourhood, and I call them kids on purpose because they're all on crack and stuff like that. Well, I saw one of them getting around with a boombox on his shoulder.
No way.
It was just magnificent.
I bet it was just an iPod dock, though.
Miff and Alan are going to pick a topic. Everybody will be quizzed on it. Your choices tonight are Gregorian chants, bebop, prog rock, and Noughties Pop-Tarts. Alan, you can pick the first topic tonight.
Bebop, please.
Certainly, Miff.
We have to have Noughties Pop-Tarts.
Please, yes.
OK, we'll start with bebop, though. Everyone on your buzzers. Let's play Spicks and Specks. First question for 1 point. Bebop influenced many other artists, including the Beat Poets. To whom was Jack Kerouac referring when he wrote... Nice. You had the feeling of early in the morning, like a hermit's joy, or like the perfect cry of some wild gang at a jam session. Wait, what? Charlie burst his lungs to reach the speed. Yes.
Charlie Parker?
It was indeed Charlie Parker. First point of the game. Next question for 2 points. Bebop trumpeting greats Miles Davis and Chet Baker also recorded albums playing another horn. Have a look at this picture. Name and spell this instrument. Yes.
Flugelhorn?
Hang on, these guys actually got in. And spell it.
F-L-U-G.
Yep.
Horn.
L-E-L-H-O-R-N,
I was thinking.
Yes, you got it right.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Stick with me, I get them.
Finally, for 3 points, have a listen to this. It's the most recorded jazz song written by a jazz artist. Tell me the singer, the song, and the iconic hard bop composer.
I do pretty well till after sun.
Yep.
Around Midnight?
Yes.
Ella Fitzgerald?
Yes. And the composer?
Thelonious Monk?
3 points out of 3.
Vince, it's very exciting to have you on the show today because your show was my very first dinner and show. As a grown-up lady, I was 17, got in underage, went to a dinner and show because I knew it was the only way we could get booze. Right? Don't tell Mum.
Thanks for that.
I mean, I'm the same as you. When I was 17, 18, I used to go to the basement in Sydney until 4 in the morning and just sit there, with friends watching jazz.
Yeah,
but it always...
and you could...
No! Could you? I had no idea. Do Australian audiences really have the respect for jazz that, say, international audiences have?
You got to work harder with Australian audiences because they don't know the music that well, like they do in Europe and Japan. They really know, and America.
Is that then maybe a plus because you do have to work harder?
Definitely, yeah.
We were playing a gig once in, I can't remember, a country town sometime, and, we just kind of, in the middle eight, we just went into The Saints Go Marching In, classic trad. At the end, the guy told me it was his favourite bit when we did the St Kilda Footies Club anthem.
Wasn't there a show where George Harrison came backstage?
He did. I met Jeff Lynne on the golf course.
Jeff Lynne from ELO.
Yeah, and he looked really lonely and he didn't have much chops. So we said, hey man, you want to come play with us? He says, oh, I'd love to, mate. And he came in, joined us and he said, what do you guys do? And we told him we were musicians and we thought we were really good. And it's funny, during the conversation, he exposed to us that he had a moat and a couple of castles and he was quite a wealthy man. I said, who do you play with? He said, I'm with the Travelling Wilburys. And I said, oh, who are those cats? He said, I'll bring down George tonight. I'm thinking George must be his manager or his mate. So he brought George down and George got it. He came over and talked to us afterwards and said to me, I actually love this music. And we were friends for a minute.
Right. You were also influenced by John Lennon, is that right?
I wanted to be the fifth Beatle, but everybody did. Yeah, and I remember singing Jealous Guy one night. And I said, this song is by John Lennon. This is a particular song that I must say first that John Lennon has taught me more about politics than anyone, than any politician could ever teach me. And this woman in the front shouted out, didn't affect my life.
Wow.
And the whole place went absolutely silent.
That's like heckling you via heckling someone else.
And then we pissed ourselves laughing and couldn't play.
Did it become something on the bus from that point on or within the group? Didn't affect more or...
She didn't get it, but she loved the Beatles, so...
She loved the Beatles, just didn't affect her life.
But she affected my life for quite a while.
I'm not going to be able to stop saying that from now.
Did you have a good night last night? Didn't affect my life.
I only give a point to whoever can work that seamlessly into the rest of the show.
Better write
Let's
it
move
Didn't
on.
affect my life.
Yeah, might need to redefine the word seamlessly for you. On the Noughties Pop Tarts, first question for 1 point. Which children's program edited out California girl Katy Perry
Sesame Street.
for showing too much cleavage? Yes, it was Sesame Street. Indeed. For 2 points, pop queen Madonna caused a stir with her performance at the 2003 Video Music Awards. Yes.
Britney Spears, and she kissed her.
And Justin
More
Timberlake was in the
information,
audience.
Britney Spears, yes, was one of the answers I was looking for.
Justin Timberlake?
No. I'm going to open it up to this team with the rest of the question.
We don't need it.
No.
Christina
Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera, there it is. In case you don't know what we're talking about, there are the photos that Madonna kissed both Britney and Christina Aguilera. If you look carefully at Britney there, she's thinking, God, I hate it when you have to kiss your nana.
I know.
3 points on the line for your final question. Wardrobe malfunctions are the curse of live performance, most infamously with Janet Jackson's 2004 incident. I need 3 things: the name of her co-performer, the sporting event in which it happened, and its Nixon-inspired nickname.
It was Nipplegate, was
Yes.
the last one. Super Bowl,
Bowl.
and
Yes.
Justin Timberlake was the other.
3 points out of 3.
It was
It was the 38th Super Bowl halftime show. There was a performance with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. At the end of it, he ripped at her top. It opened up and it exposed her breast.
Could someone help me with, the thing that was meant to happen when he grabbed her shirt and pulled
The
it?
lyric is, going to have you naked by the end of this song. So I think that was the whole kind of
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
be literal with that.
So what was meant to happen? If
She could
that
have
was
just put her arms up and he could have.
To put it in perspective too, it was shown live in the United States and Canada when it happened. Those were the two countries that saw it all. In the United States, there were 540,000 complaints about it.
Yeah.
In Canada, for the same incident, 50 complaints. 45 of those were Americans on holiday, and 5 were upset because they missed it. At the end of the first round, the scores are Alan, Vince, Scott are on 5 points. Miff, Matt, Michelle are in front, 7 points. Each team will be given 3 artists and 3 interesting facts. You have to match the artist to the fact. Alan, Vince and Scott, your stars are the man who sang Lean On Me and Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers, the woman who asked Would I Lie to You, the Eurythmics' Annie Lennox, and the smooth American who told us Baby Did a Bad Bad Thing, Chris Isaak. You have to match them to their previous professions, which are a fish filleter, a Japanese tour guide, and a 747 toilet seat maker. Which artist matches which profession?
Bill Withers came from New York or Detroit or somewhere like that.
Somewhere like that.
Somewhere there was quite a bit of heavy industry.
Could be.
Okay.
I think Bill Withers and the 747 toilet seat maker. I would love to have a better reason than the fact that he came from a place.
I'm thinking the whole toilet seat thing might be a bit of a furphy. I suspect Chris Isaacs might have been pulled up on a 747 for going to the toilet a few too many times and had to come up with a cover story pretty quick. Oh, I used to make them. Yeah, that's why I was going there every half
Oh,
an
right,
hour.
and he'd left a special mark on them so we could tell which one, so he'd lift them up and go,
That's
no,
right.
not mine.
Annie Lennox, I'm trying to think. Would she be the fish filleter?
I think she would be.
Yeah.
She's Scottish.
Scottish.
If you've got a better way of working this out, then feel free to do it. But I think she's Scottish, she's a fish filleter. Works for me.
Alan, what do you think?
Bill Withers made toilet seats. Annie Lennox was a fish filleter. And Chris Isaak was a Japanese tour guide in Japan.
Now, Alan Bro, you have a terrible record at this game. You've possibly never got all 3 correct before, let alone maybe one of them.
Stop there, Adam.
Yep.
There's no need to speak.
Alan Bro, 3 points.
I knew learning to love Jesus would pay off.
Now, while we're talking, previous professions, Vince. Now, I know you worked on cars, but you have now moved on to, you actually now create your own fuel for your car, is that correct?
Yeah, I try to make my footprint as small as I can. I do 50,000 k's a year, at least, driving. So I get on the internet, and of course I find that you can make diesel out of used fish and chip shop oil. So I gave all the fish and chip shops a CD each so that they would keep the fish and chip oil for me. And I've got this little refinery in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I make my own oil, which I virtually drive everywhere on it.
So, wait a minute, is anyone else disturbed that they fry our fish and chips in diesel?
So you drive around Australia on tour
Yeah.
but using a car that burns fish and chip shop oil. Wow.
I've done 370,000 k's on it.
Do you have groupies following or seagulls?
Dogs.
Dogs.
If it actually does backfire, though, what does it smell like? Does it smell like Chico rolls, or is it...
It doesn't backfire, but yeah, when you start up, it smells like Chico rolls. Yeah.
Do calamari rings come out the back? That would be amazing.
All right, Miff, Matt, Michelle. Your artists that you have to match to their professions are the American singer-songwriter who was running on empty, Jackson Browne, the Irish famine fixer, Bob Geldof, and the frontman of 80s superstars Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon. Here are their previous professions: a lumberjack, a kaleidoscope assembler, and a pea sheller. Which of those artists worked in which of those professions?
He's so beautiful. He was my first celebrity crush, Simon Le Bon.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, so effeminate. When you're young, when you're a young girl, you like effeminate men who aren't too sort of... That's why I like you. No, I'm kidding. I was kidding. You were just looking so close at me. You freaked me out.
Man, he's wearing his trucky cap and
I
everything.
know. No, I'm kidding. You're very butch.
Thank you. I actually have to be honest, and I don't know who these 3 men are. Showing my age.
You're making me feel old now.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
But you should still know Duran Duran.
Ish.
Well, he was the lead singer and he was very handsome, and you were either a Simon Le Bon girl or a John Taylor girl. He was the bass player.
Right.
You need to know whether you're a Simon Le Bon girl or a John Taylor girl.
If he says that, it might stop him being so butch.
Oh, sorry. sorry.
Duran Duran had songs like Girls on Film, Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf.
We might as well be speaking Esperanto. All you can hear is Lady Gaga songs in your head.
Hey, don't hate.
No. Haters be hating. Haters be hating.
And we'll Bob Geldof, you know.
You're like a drunk auntie.
I know. I'm feeling Simon Le Bon and Kaleidoscope are coming together for me, and I don't know what you know.
Kaleidoscope's working more with Jackson Browne for me because he's sort of more of that hippie kind of era.
Miff, sorry, just for a second. Matt, a kaleidoscope.
I had a kaleidoscope as a kid. I know what that is.
He had a kaleidoscope.
I want Simon Le Bon to be a lumberjack. I think he would look great in a lumberjack shirt.
Did you write that on your pencil case?
Okay.
Geldof.
So I'd say Geldof, just from my kind of knowledge of him being like from the 70s, is that correct?
80s.
80s, very acid-ish kind of time, bit trippy, maybe sit there and have
That's
fun.
the 60s, but good on you for having it. Good on you for joining in.
I want Simon Le Bon to be a lumberjack.
Yeah, he can be a lumberjack.
Can he be a lumberjack?
Babe. Yep, go.
Can I have that?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Peas sheller. Who would shell peas? Geldof.
All right.
Kaleidoscope, Jackson Browne. Are you happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Miff Warhurst, 3 out of 3. Yeah, exactly right. And look, while we're talking other professions, we should also mention the fact that you are and have been playing Bert in Mary Poppins.
Yes.
In which you do that amazing thing where you actually run up the wall and do the... What's the trick? How do you do that?
I walk up the wall and I tap upside down on the ceiling.
Are you on wires or is there a...
I can't tell you how it happens because
Okay.
then Disney will kill me. But
Oh, Disney!
They've killed before.
And there are people that I know who have seen lots of musicals and are quite jaded, who have just walked out of that and gone, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Well, I think it's a show that appeals to kids of 7 and adults of 7.
Yep.
And yeah, it's really cool to be in a show that's being so well received. It's awesome.
The whole thing really impressed me. And I mean, this obviously, I'm not doing an ad for it because this is the ABC and we don't want you to have a good time. The choreography in Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the stuff you do like that is just brilliant and it appears extremely complex.
The choreographer of the show, their partner is deaf.
Right.
They very cleverly spelled out the entire 15 letters with sign language.
Are you allowed to do it? Here?
I think.
Can you put your pen down first? Because I'm scared. Yep, okay.
Yeah, so we've got S. So you see the S there. S, you got U, P, E, and then instead of an R, we make an R sound. Oh. Then we've got C, A, L, I, F, and if you want to see the rest, you've got to come see the show.
At the end of that round, the scores are Alan, Vince, Scott are on 8 points, Miff, Matt, Michelle in front, 10 points. One member of each team will be singing well-known songs using the words of an unrelated piece of text. Your teammates have to identify those songs. Vince, you'll be singing first for Alan and Scott, and you'll be substituting your lyrics from I've Got Nits by Mike Brownlow. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Jones. Song one, please, Vince.
Jenny's mum looked horrified. My darling's got the nits. Jenny's dad came rushing in to find the cause of the din. He focused on his little girl and magnified each golden curl. Yes, head lice, oh golly gosh, we can't have them.
Anyone? That was How Can You Mend a Broken Heart by the Bee Gees.
That was mine. I was just going, yeah, I
It's
like
never
this.
sounded so good.
It's got ABC3 written all over it. That's great. Brilliant.
Next song, please, Vince.
They're teeny weeny insects which unfortunately may ache you itch. They're everywhere annoyingly. We have an outbreak frequently.
Yes.
Spinning wheel.
wheel.
Yeah,
Spinning
yeah,
wheel,
yeah.
White Blood, Sweat and Tears. Yes, it is. Final song, please, Vince.
Combing, that's the thing to do. Nice wet hair conditioner too. If everyone in Jenny's class does the same, then it won't last.
Yes,
That's Suicide is Painless, the theme song from MASH.
it is indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Jones. Matt, you'll be singing for Miff and Michelle.
Yes.
And you'll be taking your lyrics from the Constitution as altered to 31st of December 1969, together with the Statute of Westminster Adoption Act 1942 and Index. That's your book, those are your songs. Don't show your teammates, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Lee.
Okay. The legislative power of Commonwealth shall be vested in federal parliament, which consists of queens, a senate and a house of reps, and which is after called the parliament of the commonwealth, the parliament of the commonwealth, the parliament.
Yes.
You make me feel like dancing.
By Leo Sayer. Next song, please.
Sorry, Matt, could you just go back through that? I missed what the Parliament of Parliament actually is.
Okay. No money shall be drawn from the treasury of the Commonwealth. No. 1 month after a first meeting of Parliament, a government in council may draw from the treasury and extend such money as may be necessary for the maintenance of the Putney River.
It's Crimea River, Justin Timberlake. Well done. Final song, please, Matt.
In the Constitution shall not be altered except in the
Stevie Wonder.
must be passed on absolute majority of houses. Parliament none less than no more than 6 months. Those 6 months after it's passed through both houses.
What's it called?
Proposed law should be subject to.
What's it called?
I might have to throw it over if you don't know.
Oh, I know this one.
Going to go to this side.
I'll go.
I wish.
I Wish is exactly the name of the song. Yes, well quote. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Lee. At the end of that round, the scores are Alan, Vince, Scott are on 11 points. Miff, Matt, Michelle are only just in front, 12 points. Teams, hands on your buzzers. 1 point for a correct answer, 1 point off for a wrong answer. Your questions start now. What do the initials R and B stand for? Yes.
Rhythm and blues.
Yes. What dance am I doing if I jump to the left, then I step to the right?
The Time Warp.
Yes. Which chorus from Handel's Messiah shares its name with a... Yes.
The one that goes, we like sheep. You know that one? No one knows that one? No embarrassment. Is it the one that goes,
The Hallelujah chorus.
Yeah, I saw Handel's Messiah at the Arts Centre last Christmas. Everyone was really impressed. Didn't affect my life. So.
The rest of the question was, which chorus from Handel's Messiah shares its name with a much-abused Leonard Cohen song? You said Hallelujah.
Yeah.
You said didn't affect my life. Yeah. 2 points. Have a listen to this. Name the song.
Sometimes I feel like...
Yeah.
Florence and the Machine.
Yes.
We've got the
Who's got the love?
I've got the love. No, you've got the love.
We've all
We've got the love.
It's called You've Got the Love. I'm going to give you that. Debuting on Broadway in November 2010, Bono and The Edge penned... Yes?
Spider-Man.
And lyrics for a musical about which comic book hero, Spider-Man, it was. Late Solomon Burke recommended that, quote, everybody needs somebody to what?
I'm going to go with love.
Love was exactly the answer I was looking for. Your final question. With which American state does the band Washington share its name?
Washington.
Yes, that's kind of the question. At the end of the show, the final scores are... Myth Matt Michelle ended up with 15 points. Alan, Vince and Scott just won the day. 16 points.
Well done.
Would you please thank all our guests for tonight? Vince Jones, Scott Edgar, Matt Lee and Michelle Laurie. And of course our two team captains, Alan Rowe and Miff Warhurst. To close the show tonight, Matt Lee is going to prove that you can tap dance to just about anything. Thanks for watching Spicks and Specks. My name's Adam Hills. Good night, Australia.